Hello everybody, thank you for coming to Tea Tuesday. So today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about other things that we do with our tea mixtures, but we'll get to that. But I also want to show you how we could customize. So we're gonna make our respiratory blend today, and then I want to show you how we could add things to it. So if there's something that you're wanting that we don't quite have, or you want to tweak it a little bit, you definitely can do that. So we're going to do a standard tea, so a decoction. So we're going to start off with cold water. Let's get that heated up here. And we're going to mix our herbs in with it. So I'm going to change the camera around here so you guys can see. Okay. So this is our standard respiratory blend. This one has not been posted yet up on anything, but if you're interested in, let me know, and we can definitely get you some. So we're gonna dump that in there, and that's about a tablespoon and a half. But because today was a long day, I'm gonna mix in some of this passion flower. So passion flower is very similar to Bavarian root. So I'm just going to mix this in there. It helps with anxiety, stress. So we're just going to dump some of that in there. But if I was making this for somebody who was super congested, having some lung gunk going on, this is curly top gumweed. It was one of my plants this summer that I was uber obsessed with. So this is actually this part here. Even though this has been drying, you can see how it's stuck to my skin there. It is super sticky. So that resin is a really good expressant. So it will help you work any of that gunk out of your lungs. It's also really good for like bug bites. You can actually just cut the top off and just stick this flower part right over the bug bite. And because it's so sticky, it sticks to it. It'll help pull any of the insect bite out. It will help with the, like for mosquitoes, the itchy part of it. And then this is some goldenrod leaves. So goldenrod is really great for allergies. So let's say you were congested and it was more due to allergies. We can mix in some of these goldenrod leaves for you. Okay, let's get back to our tea here. Flip you back around. So again, we don't want to boil this, and because we just have leaves and flowers in this mixture, we're not going to have to do it for very long, because it's those roots that are a little bit harder or denser material. You're going to want to steep for a little bit longer. I'm just mixing this in here, making sure all of the leaves get wet here. There's some weird cameras making those weird flashy lights in the background. Super strange. Let's talk about what herbs are in the respiratory blend. So we got thyme. Thyme is really good for bacterial, viral, and fungal infections. So you could even take this, and this is one of the things I was talking about that we could do with our tea blends. You could put it in your bath. You could do an herbal bath. So you could get a lot of the same benefits. So you do the same thing. Make a pot, do it, let it cool down, and then add it to your bath water. Strain it. So you're putting that in there. So you could do the same thing. Let's say like if you had, I don't know, gross feet, but if you had a fungal infection in your toenails or anything like that, you could do the same thing. You could steep some thyme and add that to your foot bath. It'll help with that. But it's also good for sore throats, coughs, bronchitis, boost the immune system. You could even use it for like lice. Do like a hair rinse with it. Scabies and worms. Super gross. But skin irritations or inflammation at all, you do the same thing. You can make a tea with it, soak your rag in it, and then put the rag on your skin. If it's really bad, you can even soak whatever, if you can, soak whatever body part in the tea. And that will also help with that. I also have St. John's wort in here. So interesting fact, St. John's got its name because it bloomed before the summer solstice, which they called St. John's Day. So that's typically when you can find St. John's wort blooming if you want to harvest the flowers. I thought that was super interesting how it got its name. But St. John's wort is good for depression, anxiety, SAD, and it helps with the calming nerve part of OCD. It also helps with PMS, opiate withdrawals. It also can help you quit smoking, Bell's palsy, different nerve pain. I'm just stirring this around here a little bit. Nettle is in almost all of our teas. It is one of my favoriteest plants. There's actually a story that my master herbalist that I'm training with was telling about how this old man purposely planted all this stinging nettle down a hillside, and he would about once every 3 months strip naked and roll down this stinging nettle. It actually has little thorns on it that poke you and give you kind of like injections that helps with arthritis. And so he'd be kind of uncomfortable for a day, but then the relief from his arthritis was well worth the naked roll. Back to stinging nettle. It is also good for inflammation, eczema, skin irritations, bug bites, all that good stuff. Dandelion is also in this mixture. It's good for the liver, detoxing, gallbladder, blood sugar. It's also one of the highest plant forms of iron, even more than broccoli. And there's a bunch of stories that talk about during the Great Depression about how that's how a lot of families survived, was they would literally walk around and pick the dandelions to eat. You could eat the leaves or you could eat the flowers also. And in Europe, it's not considered a noxious weed like it is here. And there's theories on that's how it got brought over, is that it was brought to the United States, and then here we think of it as a noxious weed and it grows everywhere. And it's very easily spread. It also helps with lactation. So mothers that are having a hard time getting their milk in, or their milk is starting to dissipate, you could do a tincture or tea with dandelion. And then of course it has a couple ingredients that we kind of talked about last Tea Tuesday, but we'll touch base on those again real quick. It has marshmallow in it, so that's going to do the soothing because it's a mucilage, so it will help coating and soothe, and it draws water to it. So if you're drinking it and you have a sore throat, it will draw the water to that area. And of course, dry cough, leaky gut, inflammation, ulcers are all good with that. Let's check it here. Let's see what the color. So it's kind of, because that St. John's wort turns it like a red color, but we don't have that much in it because we just have a little bit in the mixture. Let's see. Let's get going for about 10 minutes, which is doable because again we don't have any of the hard substance in it, like the roots. But let's put it on here and I can show you guys. You can kind of see how it kind of has that orangey red color to it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off here and let it cool down, and then we'll strain it. So another cool thing with the curly top gumweed, we have ours infused with honey. So you just basically do a water bath with a pan with water, and then you put another little pan or jar inside of it, put the honey and the curly top gumweed in it, let it cook and simmer for, usually I do mine a good 30 minutes. If it's not in the way and you could do it without it boiling over, you could do it for longer. Let it cool down a little bit and then strain out the curly top gumweed, and you can use that honey. We were taking it a little while back when we all kind of had a chest cold. We were just taking the honey by the spoonful, and that really helps with the cough, help you work whatever you have in there out. Okay, so I just have my fine strainer again, sitting on top of my cup. We'll see how talented I am. Oh, I think I'm going to cheat and use a ladle. I'm not that talented. But with this, you could also save the herbs after you have it into this and use it as a compress. So like, for instance, we have the respiratory tea in this. You could save that and do like a chest compress, like if you would put like Vicks rub on. You could kind of do the same thing with it and then just put a warm cloth over it. Got most of this out of here. But another thing, I touched base on it a little bit earlier, about doing other things with our tea. So another really fun thing that you could do if you're congested, nasal congested, head cold, sinuses, you can do a nasal steam with this also. So basically make your tea like you would normally. You're going to want it to cool down a little bit. You don't want the steam coming off of it to be too hot to where it's going to burn you. And then put it in a different pan bowl that's cool to the touch. And you're going to put just a drip of towel over. Just lean in and let those the smells and the steam help with your decongestion, your sinus. And then of course the herbal baths, which are really great too, because we could add some Epsom salt and some essential oils to those bath blends if you're interested in that. I know Joe has taken an herbal bath with the goldenrod, because that's really great with pain and inflammation. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like all finished here. Oops, sorry, I almost dropped y'all. Okay, so it's not quite red like how Amber's tincture is, but again, you get that red color from the St. John's wort in there. Very cool. Well, thank you everybody for coming to Tea Tuesday. Let me know if there's any teas that you're interested in or any questions, because we could do that next Tuesday.